Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand Rising, Rich Rising. Happy New Day to each and every one of you guys. I think I'm going to leave that off. I'll go ahead and leave that off. Good morning, Grand Rising, Rich Rising. Happy New Day to each and every one of you guys. As you guys are coming into the room, I'm hoping and praying that you guys had a good rest last night. How y'all doing this morning? How y'all doing this morning? Get on in here. Get on in here. How the old folks say, come on in the room. Come on in the room. What's going on? Hey, Crystal Love. Crystal Love, how you doing this morning? Grand Rising to you. What's going on? I see you eating Nicole over there on that side. Good morning to you. All right, Miss China Scott, good morning to you. 41 Donna, good morning to you. She said I chose to wear. Okay. Let's get to it. I got you already. I see you got it in there. Bing, it's pinned. Let's get to it. I wish they'd let me pin it on each one of them. That would be too lit. What's going on with y'all over here on TikTok? I see y'all popping in. Everybody's popping in, man. Y'all already know this is Morning Walk, Word, and Worship, where you get your what? Your 3 wins a day. Good morning, Lynn. You get your 3 wins a day. That's a mental win, a physical win, a spiritual win. Right here with your girl, Street Poet, and the Chosen Family. We've been doing this going on 2 years now. Morning Walk and Worship, where we actually getting up, putting on something, you know what I'm saying? Whether we're dancing around our houses, getting ready for work, getting that physical exercise on, fixing breakfast for the kids, getting that physical exercise on, or actually getting up, going to the gym, walking on the treadmill in your garage, or, you know what I'm saying, on the ellipticals, or, you know what I'm saying, doing yoga stretches and whatnot while listening to Morning Walk and Worship, right? So we getting that physical win right there with your workout. You're getting that mental win because we always got some motivation going, and that spiritual win because we're going to always show up with that love. Happy birthday to you, Candace Bash, happy birthday to you. Happy 40th. This is a big birthday too. It's today, right? I think it's today. So if it's today, happy birthday to you, man. Listen, I'm talking about big 40. I absolutely love to see it. Grand Rising, Rich Rising, Happy New Day. Nia, is it Naya? Naya Too Raw. Okay, Naya Too Raw. Double tap on the screen over there. I see y'all. What's up, Tony? I see you. Good morning to you as well. I love how y'all be putting like good morning CF and then like, you know what I'm saying, on your tags it say CF and stuff like that. Y'all know because before I had a group, like I still actually have the ENT, but I have this group and our group will speak on the ENT, right? It's the entertainment thing. This is the people that I did my parties with. These were the promoters and stuff that, you know what I'm saying, worked up on the speaker on the ENT. And our names all over platforms used to be like Street Poet SOI, Mahogany SOI, Jock SOI, Crystal SOI. You knew that you was a part of SOI if you had that at the end of your name, right? And that was so cool. So when I see y'all put CF, I just be cracking up. I was like, man, some things never change. God's gonna always send your tribe. That was my tribe from when I was throwing my parties, man. When I was throwing my parties, doing my production, that was my tribe. And now my new tribe is the CF. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Latoya, how you doing? Hey, it says your favorite grandmama. Okay, my favorite grandmama. Hey, they telling you happy birthday over on the other side as well, over on Instagram. Candace as well. Alan Smith, good morning. Hey, Danielle. Let's go ahead and reach our goals. Let's go ahead and start reaching our goals on each one of the platforms so that we can go ahead and jump right into this. Y'all know yesterday we started out by talking about it's going to cost you to become you. It's going to cost you to become you. And we're still in our series of stages of transformation, but we had to take a pause real quick because God had another word that he wanted us to go with. And so we had to go with that word. So a brief summary of that. Thank you so much, Benny Simpson. A brief summary of that is that it's going to cost you to become you. You have to let go of that old life. You have to be willing to surrender that old life. You have to be willing to say, hey, look, I am deserving of bigger and better. And the only way, thank you so much, Danielle, the only way that I'm going to obtain that is if I let this right here go. Thank you so much, Krista. I got to let this go. I got to move forward from this, right? Because as long as, this is how I always look at this thing, as long as you're holding on to that old version of you, then there's no space for the new version of you. As long as you're holding on to that old version of you, then there's no space for that new you, right? Before you do it, when you come in there and you want to renovate your house, thank you so much, Fran 560. Appreciate you. Is it Sassy Red Boutique? Thank you so much, man. Double tap on the screen, because when you get ready to move or you want to clean up or anything like that, right? And you want to get like new stuff put into your room. I just want to use a room as an illustration. When you want to redo your room, right? When you're ready to redo your room, you're tired of walking into that room, and the stage that you were in when you created that room, that space, it's like, yo, I did this, and at the time, I really liked the flowers. I wanted the flowers. I wanted the colors, all of this. So you go outside of your way and you put all this stuff in this room, right? You put all of it in the room. You got flowers everywhere. Bed sheet got flowers on it. You got pillowcases with flowers on it. You have this obsession with flowers. But then as you're growing and evolving and maturing more, you're like, hey, look, I don't think I want anything. I don't want these flowers anymore. I want to go with some solid colors. I want to go with, you know what I'm saying, something more mature, more of this, more of that, right? So then you start to do that. Okay, she said, it's me, Coach Miss Prayer. Okay, how you doing this morning? Good morning to you, right? So now that you're doing that, you're like, I gotta change this. So what do? You take down everything that's in the room, right and wrong, ladies, where y'all at? We take down every single thing in the room, including the curtains, right? We take it all down. We get to washing up every single thing, every crevice of that room. We pull out even the stuff that's in the closet, because the stuff that we ain't wore in a while, we doing what? We taking it to the Goodwill. We dropping it off at the Salvation Army. We going to the women's shelter. We gonna put all that stuff over there inside of those bins and those bags to be dropped off. We renovating the room. We cleaning out the room. And when we put this new room together, guess what? We don't want none of that old stuff that's in there. That's just how we do. So we take out everything out the closet, everything out of the dressers, right? You empty out the dressers, drawers, anything that's in there, any trash that's in there. You find out all your old notes and all your old, journals and everything else. You pulling all of that stuff out because you want it to be clean. You don't want nothing in that new space that's going to be taking up space, stuff that you are no longer using, right? So you clean the whole room out, you clean the drawers out, you clean the closet out, you strip the whole room down, and you get the cleaning, you get the sweeping, you get the mopping, right? All in the crevice of the windows, getting all the spider webs out. It's important to you that you clean that area, right? You want it clean. So after you get finished cleaning, what do? You take all of that out, and then you bring in the new stuff. But to us, as women, what we say? We don't want none of our clean stuff mixed up with nothing I knew, or nothing of that dirty stuff. If you want to tick a woman off, mix the clean clothes and the dirty clothes together. If they smell a piece of sour on one piece of garment that came out of that basket, the whole entire basket got to go back into the washing machine. Oh yeah, we washing everything all the way over, because it's one thing that came out of there that just don't smell right. Understand me? If you want to make a woman mad, I'm just being for real. Where y'all at? Do not let friends say, I'm serious. Do not mix them clean clothes with them dirty clothes, because that is a for sure way to get up under our skin. Now we got to wash all of that stuff all the way over, because we don't know how much more dirty is mixed with the clean. That will tear our nerve all the way up. That's the same way it is with your life. Understand me? That's the same way that it is with your life. You can't mix the clean and the dirty together. It don't go together. Once you got that stench, it's like, I gotta get rid of that stench. I don't know what that smell is. You have to empty that whole entire thing all the way out and start over. When you start bringing in your new stuff, you make sure all the old stuff that you're no longer using, you make sure that stuff is out of the way, so that you can prepare some space for that thing. That's how it is in your life as well. Your life, that's your room. We 6 months in. We're about to close out the second quarter. This is why Coach said, pull out your journals, pull out your vision boards, and look over these past 6 months. What have you done? What have you accomplished? Where do you need to turn it up at? What you need to turn up on? What on this vision board have you completed? We're about to go into the third quarter of this year. This thing is not stopping. It's not slowing down. It's not pausing and allowing us to catch up or to catch our breath. This thing is constantly moving. It's constantly moving, constantly shaking. And you have to learn how to constantly move, constantly shake right there with it. You have to be rolling right there with those punches every single time. Thank you so much, Denise Rose. I appreciate you, sweetheart. You have to be rolling right there with it. It's going to cost you to become you. You're going to have to be willing to separate from that old you. No more excuses. Oh, this how I always been. Oh, this how I always been. And it's going to take time for me to let go of that. No. When you realize that what you always been wasn't right, you need to start changing that right now today. That's not no. All of those are excuses. Oh, an excuse. Just because you've always been that way doesn't mean that that's right. Understand me. Don't mean that that's right. And how about this? Every time you say, oh yeah, well, I've always been like this, I've always been like this, just think about how your kids, you know that how you are is toxic. You know how you are is not right. You know that that's not something that you're supposed to be doing, right? And you got kids right there in your house. And even though you know that that's not the right thing to do, you do it anyway. And your excuse for that is, this is how I've always been, right? I've always been. Are you imagining the example that is showing them that, so it just that she's always been like that. Your kids will start to say, what? She's always been like that. And your kids have developed now, when they start telling you, oh, she always been like that, they've developed coping skills to deal with your dysfunctional behavior. They've developed skills to deal with you yelling, screaming, cussing, and fussing. They've developed coping skills to deal with your mood swings. They've developed coping skills to deal with your anger issues. They've developed coping skills. They've learned how to cohabitate right there with you without really allowing what you got going on to bother them as much, even though it bothers them, but it doesn't bother them on that level because they've developed this coping skill. Think about that. If you ain't worried about nobody else, I know you're worried about them. They're developing coping skills to deal with your dysfunctional behavior. This is why even the small things that we do, the way that we move, this is why even the smallest things are super important for us to change, for us to heal. Understand, like skipping over nothing, making no excuses for nothing, identifying problems in our life, issues in our life, deficits in our life, weak areas of our life, and really taking them seriously, making a conscious effort to really correct those things without making the excuses. As long as you make an excuse for why you are the way that you are, the longer that you're going to stay that way. The longer that you make an excuse for the way that you are, the longer that you are going to stay that way. You are extending your stay. Every single time that you make an excuse for who you are, what you are, and what you're doing nothing but extending your stay. Yeah, that's definitely worth some ink right there. Sometimes we don't think about certain things until it's said out loud. So it's okay, right? We don't think about it that way when we really and truly don't. Friend, come on, we have to be real. Thank you so much. Is it Dorothy Parker? Appreciate you. Like, if we think about it, be for real. You know what I'm saying? Be for real. A lot of us are guilty of, that's just how I always been. A lot of us are guilty of, I've always talked like that. They know I don't mean no harm. We've all them said that before. And it's not until we start to grow. That's right, Rob. Breaking them cycles. It's not until we start to grow and evolve and end up in spaces where we have these type of conversations where we learn that, hey, look, that's a problem. Yeah, you know what? I have said that before. I do be saying that right now to this day. But now that it's been brought to my attention, I'm going to start working on that. I'm going to start fixing that in my life. Every single time I find myself saying that from this point forward, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to have a conversation with my kids. The next next time that they say, oh, that's just how she is. No. That's how I used to be. And you hold mama accountable. When you see me doing this, or you hold daddy accountable, when you hear me say this or see me do this, go ahead and bring it to my attention. Hey, mom, aren't you working on that? Hey, dad, aren't you working on that? Hold me accountable, because I want you to know that, yes, it's okay to change. It's okay to grow. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to become, right? It's okay. It's okay, because a lot of the things that we do is learned behavior. These things are things that we learn. These are things that we were shown as we were coming up, right? This is what this is. So we have to be willing to grow, willing to evolve, willing to become. So one more time for the folks in the back, you becoming you, it's going to cost you. You're going to have to let go of that old you, separating yourself from that old you. This is what you're going to have to do. Anything, any parts of you that's not in alignment with the assignment that Christ has for you, it's going to have to go, so that you can live that life that is full of purpose, that's full of joy, that's full of love. You have to be willing to surrender it. You have to be willing to give it up the same way that tax collector at that booth, when Jesus walked by and said, follow me, right? He followed. Simple as that. That's how quick on your feet you have to be. You have to be that quick. That man did not, it has no part in that Bible where he said, oh, they went back and forth and he told Jesus, well, I got to wait on my relief to get here. I got to wait on the person that, I got to wait on my relief to get here. I can't leave just yet. I got to call my mama then. Well, I got a wife at home and some kids. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because this is my job. This is my income. This is how I'm able to do this. No, the Bible just simply says he left. He picked up his stuff and he followed, period, point blank. And this is how we have to be. We have to let go of the excuses, right? That's what I'm sharing with you this morning. Every time you create an excuse for how you are, when you know that it's wrong, you're extending your stay. Every time you make an excuse, you are extending your stay. So it's nobody else's fault the reason why you living how you live and going through what you're going through. It's nobody else's fault the reason why you got this issue and that ain't on nobody else, sweetheart. Right? We're talking about accountability. We're talking about your life, your choice, right? We're talking about the fact that you're going to live on whatever level of life that you settle for. And if you settle for, right? If you settle for less, then that's exactly what you're going to have. And you're going to have it every single time. You have to, yes, your new life is going to require some new habits. Your new life is going to require some new habits. That's notes for some people. Red ink right there, baby. Yeah, your new life is going to require some new habits. Them old ways will not do it. Understand me. Your new life is going to require some new habits. Understand me. You may used to be able to jump up out the bed every single morning, go in there and brush your teeth and run straight out the door so you can make it to work on time. But this new life is going to require you, right, not to jump up out the bed. It's going to require you to actually set an alarm clock so that you can get out of the bed and you can get on your knees and pray before going in there. Yeah, that's right. So you can go in there and pray. And when you hit that bathroom, it's not going to be no running around like a chicken with your head cut off. No, it's going to be you going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, washing your face. You might even have your worship music on, your praise music on. Why? Because you're centering yourself for the day. You're setting yourself up for a peaceful day, a peaceful flow for your day, right? Now, because you done got up one time and you're doing things different, now here your attitude is shifting. Why? Because you're not in a rush. You're not in a panic, right? So now you done went and got you something good to eat. You spiritually, you done had a spiritual lift this morning. You done had a physical lift with your breakfast this morning. Your energy is all right. Understand me, your physical energy. You sitting up right now. You know what I'm saying? Your facial structure is not balled all up. You ain't jumping in your car. You ain't speeding down the road, putting somebody else's life in danger and your life in danger. Why? Because your new life requires new habits. Now you got an alarm clock set. Now you operating with a level of peace and understanding and gentleness, right? Now you done got so good at this thing. I'm talking about what your new life be doing, right? You done made it to the parking lot and you ain't even running to the clock no more. Understand me? You out there in the parking lot and you got about 7 minutes to spare. You strolling up to the park. You strolling up to the clock. Understand me? Smile on your face, energy all over the place. Simple things. You see how I just use that just to show you that it's the simple things. Small things like that that'll change your whole entire day. The flow of your whole, you see that, Heather Smith? That simple thing right there would change the whole flow of your day. Whole flow of your day just got shifted because you created a new habit. Your new life is going to require new habits, because before you was jumping up and you was running out the door and you was mad and you was in a panic and you had to rush to get there. You don't want to talk to nobody because I ain't even all the way woke up yet. Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little time to myself. So you mad at everybody on the job, and ain't nobody at the job did nothing to you. Ain't nobody, none of these folks been at your crib. You understand me? You walk in here and your attitude is piss poor because of you, not because of everybody that's up in here. So now you tearing down the morale of the whole entire department. Everybody, they hate to see you coming first thing in the morning because they already know what your attitude about to be set up like, right? Understand me? Nobody ain't did you nothing. Ain't nobody said nothing to you. But because of your old habits, then all of a sudden you switch those habits. You got that alarm clock set, holding yourself accountable, pacing yourself. Now, all of a sudden, just like that, you shifted your mindset, the energy that surrounds you. You shifted what? Your mindset, the energy that's all surrounding you, right? You're acting more in a calmer state. You're acting more, you're safer. Right? For the people that's on the road, you safer now. You ain't in a hurry, dipping and dodging all out of traffic, right? Now you're operating with a level of safetyness now. You're cautious now. You're paying attention to what's going on, right? Matter of fact, when you got to that stop sign, you didn't even have to rush through the stop sign this time. You actually was able to stop at the stop sign and not slow down. I'm just being real about how the enemy operates. If you're paying attention to what I'm saying, then I'm just showing you exactly how the enemy operates. This is how he ruins your day. Understand me? This is how he ruins your good mood. This is how he robs you of your sound mind. These are the things that he does. You see how small, these minute, very small things that we do without even thinking, and then yeah, he got you already. He got you already. You in a bad mood already. Your peace is ruined already. You already mad at the world already. And because your attitude is the way that it is, when you get in there, everybody else gonna have that same type of energy, because that's the energy that they feel coming up off of you. Do you hear me? Pay attention to what happens. So when you switch those habits and you start to switch your ways, right? Pay attention to this. Now when you get to work, everybody that's there, they looking and your energy is good, so they energy good. So guess what now happens now? What happens in this type of situation? You become more productive. This is why businesses love great morale. Because when people are happy, energetic, and they love their work environment, then they produce more. They produce more. They're more attentive. They're more helpful when it's with each other. So it runs like a smooth oil machine. This is why the morale is so important. This is why the energy and the connection between employee to employee, this is why these things are so important. This is why it's important. But it all starts at home. Come on. Come on, so y'all know where I'm going with it. I know some of y'all like, ooh, I know what she finna do. Yeah, I'm gonna do it too. Double tap on my screen. Yeah, but it all starts where? It all starts at home. It all started at home, which means it all started with you. It all started with you. It all starts at home, which means that it all starts right there with you. That's what that means. And the thing about it is, I want you to, that's how it is in your spiritual life. That's how it is in your spiritual life. I wasn't telling you that story for no reason. That's how you shift your spiritual life. It's the same exact way with your spiritual life. Did you see? Did you understand how I just broke that down? Friend, like, yeah, come on, King. Yes. That's how it is in your spiritual life. It all starts with you. The shifting of your mindset, shifting of the way that you show up, because the way that you show up is going to determine the type of work that you're going to do once you get there. If you get there and you have a bad attitude, your energy is off, then you're only going to produce the bare minimum, right? You're only going to do just enough to be able to get by. Come on, sit in the illustration, sit in it for a minute. Some of y'all like, my God, yeah. So you're only going to do just enough to get by. But if you get up in enough time and you're paying attention to what you're doing, you're shifting that mindset and that energy, right? You're shifting that, and now you're producing more in your life, right? You're not scrambling, you're not panicking, you're not dealing with the stress attacks, the anxiety attacks. You're not dealing with any of that. Why? Because you're moving with grace. You're moving with grace. Grace is exuding itself all off of you and around you. Everything that you do, they're like, they should just do it so smoothly. Like, wait a minute, they don't even realize that's just the grace. Hey, that's the grace. Keita, I appreciate you. Or is it Dakita? Dakita, appreciate you so much for that CA. Understand me. It's like she just do it so smooth. How you do it smooth like that? They don't even know it started here. Everything that you do is going to start with you. Everything that you do is going to always start with you. Becoming the new you is going to cost you the old you. Your new life is going to require some new habits. It's going to require some new ways. You're going to have to let those things that's no longer servicing your higher self, you're going to have to be willing to walk away from that. Environments that's no longer servicing your higher self, you're going to have to be able to walk away from that. Your relationships that's no longer servicing your higher self, you're going to have to be able to walk away from that. Understand me? And when you walk away, yet again, I will say this, you have to walk away with the same type of mindset that tax collector walked away from that booth when Jesus said, follow me. He did not call his wife to get approval. He did not go and talk to his family first. No, he did not. They say they picked his stuff up and he followed. Simple as that. Everybody IRS form is still laid up in that booth to this day. To this day, it's still right there. Why? Because that's not my concern. My concern is self. And when I read that to you guys the first time when I brought it down, I said, you know what? I didn't explain that right there because it wasn't time, but this is the time to explain it to you. The reason why he walked away in that moment, I feel like Christ was showing us that this is a self journey. Put that in red ink. Yeah, some of y'all, yeah. Self, sweetheart, you got to stop looking for acceptance and approval and validation from other people. That was a great example of self journey. Now, y'all know how I am. So I'm like, why you ain't give me that then? Because it wasn't time for that then. This wasn't the time that I needed you to point that out. Now is the time that I need you to point that out. I need you to make that plain to them. So I'm showing you guys right here in this moment, right? Because when we think about the man whose father had passed, right? When he says, hey, I want to follow you, Jesus, but I can't follow you right now. I can't follow you right now. I just lost my dad. Let me go and bury my dad, and then I'll come back and I'll follow you. And he says, nah, let the unalive bury the unalive. Understand me? You have to be willing to go when I'm ready, right? When I say come on and follow, you have to be willing to follow. When I say, hey, this is what it is, this is what it got to be. You have to be that level of discipline. You have to be that level of committed. You have to be that level, right, of obedient to this thing. You have to be willing to move. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to let it go. You have to be willing to move where? Forward. You have to be willing to grow where? Up. Understand me? You have to be willing to let it go. You have to be willing to move, willing to grow, right? And willing to let it go. Those three things are going to matter a whole lot. Dr. Charlene, thank you so much for that CA, sweetheart. You have to be willing to let it go. You have to be willing to move forward inside of your life. You have to give yourself permission to do so. The same way you gave yourself permission to stand still, gave yourself permission to sit there and soak in that mess all them years, permission to sit over there and have that pity party, permission to sit over there in that tub and soak in that water. Understand me? Water over there just as dirty. Understand me? Listening to all them sad songs the same way that you gave yourself permission to sit and have that pity party and whine and cry about your life, the same way that you gave yourself all of these excuses because this is just how I've always been. This is just how I Yeah. Same way you did all of that. It's the same way you could give yourself permission to get up. Same way you could get, yeah, it's just that easy. Stop lying to folk and talking about, well, it ain't that easy. And no, it's that easy. It's that easy. Please don't think you're going to come over here and play with me, right? I get it. I understand trauma. I do. I understand trauma, and I understand that we're all dealing with things that we don't deserve, and we've been put in places in our lives that we did not deserve, and a lot of the pain that we are healing from is pain that we did not deserve, nor did we create. But one thing that I do teach the chosen family is this: you are not responsible for your pain, but you are responsible for your healing. That is something. You are not responsible for your pain. However, you are responsible for your healing. You are responsible for how long that you sit and you soak inside of that situation. That is on you right there. At any given moment, you can get up. At any given moment, even if you got to keep going with tears in your eyes, you keep going. If you have to get up every day and you have to crawl your way over to it, then guess what? The crawling is still a way of travel. Understand me? Some folk, all they can do is crawl. So get to crawling, sweetheart. Understand me? As long as you going, that's all that matters. I don't care how you get there. What I used to tell them all the time, one leg in a kickstand. That's right. If you got one leg and dragging the other, however you got to get there, then it is your job to make sure that you get there. And whining and crying and complaining is not going to fix the situation. It's not going to heal the situation. It's not going to change the situation. It's not going to remove the situation. And the moment that we develop that mentality and fully understand that it's going to be what it's going to be, and we don't have no control over that. The only thing that we have a control over is how we respond to what it is. That's all you got. That's all you got. What do you say? Baby, that's all you got. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I can't control that. Only God can control that. What I control is what, coach? My response to it. Put it inside your nose. Baby, it's going to be what it's going to be. And I don't have any control over that. That's what God controls. He controls the outcome of every single situation. That's on him. But what I do control, I control my response to it. Understand me? I control my response to it. Whether I allow it to consume me or I use it as a block to stepping stone, as a block to step up on. If I allow it to take me out, then understand me, that's on me. If I allow it to eat me up, that's on me. If I allow it to stress me out, that's on me. If I allow it to do, it's going to only do what I allow it to do. But I can catch it, step. Catch it, step. I refuse to let anything separate me. I refuse to let anything separate me. That's my mindset. That's my mantra. Understand? That's my mindset. That's my mantra. I refuse to let anything separate me. I've done those years already of separation, and I saw the hell that I created in my own life. No, thank you. I don't want to go back to that. Yeah, I know I had some fun times. It really was. It was some fun times. Definitely was on some folks' couches. Yeah, definitely was. Right? Out there doing the absolute most, pulling up at Waffle House at 5 o'clock in the morning, going in there to get me I need me one of those chicken melts with a little bit of onions, some hash brown smother covered in chunk. Yes, pass me the ketchup. I need all of that because I'm trying to sober up. I'm trying to get back in my right mind. Hello, somebody. But even in those times now, today, when I look back at those times and I realize the condition that I was in, I don't even know how in the world I even made it home safely. Nothing but God. Understand me? Nothing but God. When I look back over my life and I see how far I have come from certain situations in my life, it's nothing but God. So now at this age and stage of my life, I'm looking at things and I see, hey, look, you know what? You ain't saved me for nothing. You didn't preserve my life for nothing. You didn't do this for nothing. Yeah. So the rest of my life is the best of my life. That's it. I'm living the best of my life right now. Fun times, yeah, cool deal. But this right here, what I did then and what I do right now ain't got nothing on it. It's like comparing apples to oranges. It's going to cost you to become you. And it has to be something that you're willing to do. It has to be something that you're sincere with. Something that you're genuine with. Something that you're all the way on board with. Not something that, thank you so much over there. Not something that you just want to play around with. Because I promise you, you ain't fooling nobody but yourself. When you're not doing what you're supposed to do, when you're not handling things the way that you're supposed to, you do know that, right? This is a self journey, right? This is a self journey, a self-love journey, a self-healing journey, a self-spiritual journey. This journey is about you. So when you don't do what you're supposed to do, the only person that you hurt is you. The only person that you really disappoint is you. Understand me, the only person that don't see that real growth and the progress, really, it's going to be you. Not nobody else. So in other words, I'm saying stop cheating yourself. Because you ain't cheating God. He knows your inner thoughts. He knows your intention. He knows the secrets of your heart. The only person that you're cheating is yourself. And Coach, I just want to say that to your heart this morning. You deserve so much better. You deserve so much better. And understand me, better is right there. Your greater is always later. There's always a process before promise. Thank you so much, Shay Shay. And I need for you to know this. You deserve so much better, but in order for you to get what you deserve, you have to be willing to put in the work, right? You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices. You have to be willing to study, willing to fast, willing to pray. Understand me. You have to be willing to show up for you the same way that you show up for everybody else. You have to be willing to love you the same way you love everybody else. You have to be committed to this thing, not because it's going to be good for everybody else, but because it's going to be good for you, because this thing starts with you. It starts with you. This right here, this starts with you. And by you changing you working on you, it will automatically change everything that surrounds you, everything that is connected to you. Understand me. What you say, Coach, don't let that miss you. You working on you focusing on you doing the necessary work on yourself is going to be the very thing, right? Once you get you together, God will correct all the relationships that's surrounding you. How about that? How about that? When you start working on yourself, your awareness heightens, right? So pay attention to the illustration that I gave you in the beginning. I said that you'll get up earlier, set your timer, right? Set your alarm, and you get to work early. You get up earlier, so you get all your stuff done. You showing up to the job, and when you show up to the job now, your energy is through the roof, right? You have a better attitude about everything. And now when you go in, because your energy is different, your morale is different, everything is building, right? Everybody around you, now they see your energy and your love. You ever seen somebody who had such a big old personality and showed so much love that even the meanest person had to be nice to them because there was so much love in that person? Even the person that nobody wanted to talk to, because they every time they talk to them though, they be smiling and grinning because their energy is so much love and it's so much peace that's oozing all up off of that person that you can't do nothing but love them. And they'll say that too. Girl, you can't do nothing but love them. You can't do nothing but laugh at them, man. They just so funny. They just so loving. They so kind. When you are operating that way, understand me, that love is always going to cover a multitude of sin, a multitude of it, a multitude of hate, a multitude of anger, all of that. Understand me, when you put love in that, it don't stand a chance. This is why we as believers are called and charged to love, because love will tear it down. Love will what? I'm talking about will annihilate it. Do you hear me? This is why we are charged to love. Understand me. This is why we are charged to love. We don't even understand how powerful, healthy love is. Understand me. Because we've only been experienced to the toxic love. We've only been experienced to toxic love. So we got people out here who say, I don't even want to be loved. I don't want no love. I don't want the way that y'all done did love is the same way y'all did humbleness. Y'all have took it and twisted it like a wet rag. I'm talking about wrung it all the way out. I'm talking about, and all of it was wrong. All of it was absolutely wrong. Y'all have made love such a bad thing that folk don't even want love no more. Understand me. But real love, real healthy love, it changes everything. It's powerful. It is, real love is powerful, and it's almost something that is unexplainable. It's an immaculate feeling. It's a full feeling. It's a satisfying feeling. It's a feeling of safe. It's a feeling of welcome. It's a feeling of warmness when you have that real love. Real love is when you see people, like I said, who have the worst attitudes, who's always mad, and then that one person come into the job and they just be laughing and joking with them. They be like, how you get them to laugh and joke and da 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 da. It's that love that you show to them in spite of them. You don't have to live how I live. You don't have to be the same color as me, same nationality of me. You don't have to have the same lifestyle as me. It's just, I love you. I love you with the love of God. I want the very best for you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you happy and have joy. And whatever your hangups are in life, whatever your issues are in life, that's between you and God. That's not my business. That's not what I'm hung up on. My job, my charge is to love you in spite of you, the same way God loved me in spite of me. My job is to treat you like somebody, the same way that God treated me that way. And once we learn that that's what that real love is, to accept everybody just the way that they are, meet them right there where they are, and just exude nothing but that love. I love you. Understand me? And sometimes my love means that I have to be distant from you, and that's okay as well, right? I love you, and I love you from a distance. I know the person that you are. I know how you do this, and that, or whatever, but you can never say that I did not show you love. But when you change you, you change everything that's around you. Because of your energy and everything that comes off. When you walk into a room, when you're operating with love, it changes the temperature of the whole entire room. People think, oh yeah, they so powerful. They so this and that. You know, the room shift when love enters. Yeah. The room shift when that love enters, baby. When that love enter that room, it's different. People are drawn to it. It's a fact that, they're drawn to it. So you change the whole morale of your job by the way that you show up with you. And I say that to say this. Pay attention to what I'm about to say to you. You see now why the enemy don't want you to be in a good mood. You see now why the enemy wants you to always show up to that job with an attitude, always speaking negatively, always walking around, you know what I'm saying? They saw balled up and you only producing a bare minimum. That's why the enemy wants you to behave that way, right? Because as long as he got you showing up that way, then he knows that he got everybody else too. This is why, whoa, what you say? You have to look at the people that are attached to you. These people are your assignment. Everything that we do is spiritual. The jobs that we choose is spiritual. The relationships that we choose is spiritual. The friendships that we choose is spiritual. Your job is a resource, not your source. Those people did not call you back because they wanted to call you back. They called you back because God laid it on their heart for them to call you back. He is the source, understand, of every single thing that we got. We don't have nothing without him. Do you understand that? So when you were able to get approved for the house, when you was able to get approved for the car, when you was able to get the job, pass the test, do this, all of that credit, all that glory, all of that goes back to him. Not them. They smiling and grinning and shaking your hand, but baby, they was just a tool that was being used. Don't ever forget it. Give my God his credit. For sure. For sure, baby, you just a tool that's being used. Just a tool that's being used. Understand me. Every assignment that we're on is a spiritual assignment, right? Every assignment that we are on is a spiritual assignment. Your job is a resource, not the source. God is your source. Everything that we receive, right? We receive that from him. How we utilize those things, right? How we utilize those things that he gives us is all left up to us. That's our DRC. Our divine right of choice. How you view that thing is going to be all left up to you. But if you got up every single day and you went into your job and you saw this as a gift that God had blessed you with, you would do that job completely different. You would walk into that job with the best energy ever. Why? Because God gave me this job. Understand me. He blessed me with this job right here. When you were walking there completely different. And this is the reason why the enemy don't want you to look at it as a blessing. He wants you to look at it as a curse, as a dungeon. Why? Because if you come in here, you're going to get you're going to do the bare minimum. You're going to have an attitude, they gonna have an attitude, and everybody gonna be mad, sad, and depressed. And guess what? His mission is complete every single time. His mission is complete. He wants you mad. He wants you sad. He wants you depressed. He wants you stressed out. He wants you to have a toxic work environment. He wants you to have a toxic friend group. He wants you to have a toxic family group. This is what he wants out of each and every one of us. So every single time that you get up and you behave in that way, then you're satisfying the enemy. You're giving him exactly what he wanted. And that's in every area of your life. Not just at your job, that's everywhere that you go. When you're operating with that mindset and that energy, you're giving him exactly what he wanted. No matter what it is that you're dealing with, no matter the environment that you're in, right? No matter what you're dealing with, no matter the environment that you're in, you have the ability to make it a peaceful environment, a pleasant environment. Understand me? That's the power that you have, right? I need for you to know that when I say that to you, I'm saying that to your heart. Do you hear me? You have the power and the authority within you to make sure that you're able to shift every environment that's around you. Every environment that you're in, you have the power and the authority over. Why? Because God gave us the power and the authority. We run it. They don't run us. This world don't run us. We got that power. We have the authority over the adversary. How about that? She's talking about, yes, Lord, speak. How about that for anybody who was feeling like you was worthless? Baby, you got more power than what you giving yourself credit for. When you thought that the negative thoughts in your mind, that the things that you've been feeling, that they had more power over you, no, they don't. You have the power to shut down every negative thought, every negative imagination, anything that enters your mind. You have the power and the ability to say to that negative thought, to that negative feeling, that negative energy, you have the power to shut it down, to replace every negative thought with a positive one. And if you can't think of a positive thought, a new hack, I'm gonna give this to you. Find your favorite Bible verse. Find a Bible verse that actually empowers you, that inspires you, that every time that you read that verse, it gives you that extra boost. And every single time that you have a negative thought come into your mind, pull out your Bible verse and read that Bible verse right there. And if you read it to yourself, and if it don't work when you read it to yourself, read it out loud. I guarantee you, all of a sudden, you're going to see it shift. Why? Because now you're operating with the same level of understanding and commitment that Jesus used when he was out there in the wilderness. When he was out there in the wilderness, he used what? He used the word. So if it worked for Jesus, then yep, it's going to work for you. I sure do believe it every single time. And if it wasn't so, I don't believe that they would have put it there. Every single thing that is inside of that Bible is a blueprint of how we should operate on a regular basis. It's a blueprint for us. So yes, I want to know, what did he do? I want to know the tools that he used. I want to know, how did he conquer this earth? If he conquered this world, which he did, and he told us that in the scripture, then I want to know how he did it, because everything he did is exactly what I want to do. Understand me? That's exactly how I want to show up. That's exactly how I want to live. Why? Because I want to conquer it as well. And you have the power and the ability to be able to do so. Use your word. I'm going to drink my water. How about that? How about that? Ain't that something? But it's going to require grit. It's going to require grind. It's going to require passion, on commitment, obedience on your behalf. And I just gave that to you, right? That's our motivational time. Yeah, we had to throw some spiritual in there, but don't worry about that. That's just me. I'm faith-based, right? So that's for everybody that wake up every single day and you really can't stand to go to that job, and they aggravating you, they frustrating you, and that's one of your biggest struggles right now. And you like, yo, coach, this right here is frustrating. I don't know what out of me. Change you. You can't change you. Yeah, you can't change everybody by changing everybody. You have to change you. Put that focus on yourself. Work on who you are, and changing who you are, and holding you accountable for the way that you show up. If that was good for you, if it was tight, but it's right, but it definitely gave you a new outlook on how you're going to be showing up to work and showing up to every environment. Double tap on that screen. Can I get some love going? Double tap on that screen. Yeah. Stop giving these people that power over you. Y'all are almost at, where y'all at right now? 58. Go ahead and get us up to at least 75K. Get us up to 75K. Double tap on the screen. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Lily. What's up, Cook by Nature? How you doing? What's going on? Is that Mookie? How you doing, Mookie? Good morning. Grand Rising, Rich Rising. Happy New Day to y'all. Can we get 100 over there on Facebook? Can we get 100 on Facebook? Can we get 5 badges on IG? Double tap on that screen. Jacqueline 8302. Good morning. Kiana, how you doing? Kiana Michelle. What's going on with y'all over here? Y'all ready? We're gonna get into this next. We're gonna get into this this next part real quick. We're going to get into this next part. Thank y'all so much, TikTok. I see the love that's coming over there. Y'all hit that share button as well. Go ahead and put me on everybody's For You page real quick. Double tap on that screen. Facebook, y'all hit that share button as well, man. I know that we could get, you know what I'm saying, get shared over on Facebook as well. Thank you so much, Shay Sheila Davis. Thank you so much as well. Is it Gigi Snickers? Appreciate you. And them 704. Appreciate you, Queen, as well. Lisa Brown 2010. Appreciate you over there on IG. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Let me get some help over there with Lisa, man. Let me get 4 more badges on that side. Double tapping on that screen. Let's get into it. I want to get into this next part of our transformation stage. Thank you so much, Purple Flowers 93. We're just taking a pause for calls as we transition into our next part. Thank you so much, Franco 560. I appreciate you. As we're transitioning into our next part, I want you to double tap on the screen. I want you to send some love on all 3 platforms. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Thank you so much, Dawn. Yes. Everybody like, wait a minute, we was already having church. Yeah, we do. You know what I'm saying? We do. We just can't help it. We got some scripture to go with everything we got going on over here, y'all. Gotta excuse us a little bit. What's going on with it? Y'all ready? Is it Carmen K7? Thank you so much, sweetheart. Bad girl. Thank you, bad girl. Appreciate you talking about this. Always a vibe. Let's go, coach. Thank you. Takesha, what's up? Appreciate you. There go 80. We need 20 more. Let's get it over on Facebook real quick. Double tapping on that screen. Let's get it. Hey, let's get it. Hey, I love y'all, man. I hope and I'm praying that this has been good for y'all, man. The next phase that we're going to talk about is nature. Thank you so much, Nika Rambo. Appreciate you so much for that love, right? The more going through your transformation stage as you're growing and evolving and going through the stages of transformation, your spiritual transformation, one of these stages is going to be, right? It's going to be you're going to become more connected to nature. The more that you're working on yourself and your development, remember we were talking about Crystal Love. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Remember when I said yesterday, I said you started to become so detached from this world, so unimpressed when it comes down to this world, so uninterested in this world as you're continuing to grow and evolve. And it's like, you know what I mean? You start to enjoy the simple things in life, right? You start to enjoy the simple things in life. You start enjoying things like walking in the park. You start enjoying things like sitting by the lake. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever went out there and Skip Rock will become your new best friend when you just sitting on the side of the river and you just see who can skip the rock the farthest out there. You know what I'm saying? You'll start to look at the sky and start to admire the clouds, right? You'll start to look and want to be outside and first thing in the morning and you want to see the sun set. You know what I'm saying? You'll find yourself walking around your yard, whether that's the front or the back. You know what I'm saying? You out there and you just walking around it. You ain't really doing nothing. Just enjoying, allowing the sun to kiss your skin. Just enjoying, you know what I'm saying, the wind that's over there just blowing up against you. You develop a craving, right, to be outside, and not only a craving to be outside, you start to create this passion and this appreciation for everything that God made. You start to see, before you will say, oh, that's just a leaf. That's just a leaf. That's just a butterfly. That's just a this. That's just a that. But then the more that you're operating with Christ conscious and you're entering into that spiritual transformation, right? The stage where you become more connected with nature, then all of a sudden it's not just a leaf to you anymore. You are intrigued with the color pattern of that leaf. How part of it is red, then the other part is yellow. Then you see a part of that burnt orange when they start to mix together, and you just start saying, God, you are amazing, right? It instantly sends you into a worship, right? You develop this new craving, this new passion for nature. So when you start to experience this, right, this stage, don't be alarmed, don't be shocked, don't be like, well, all of a sudden I want to be at the beach, and all of a sudden I want to do outside stuff. This is a part of your spiritual awakening. Yes. Right? So this stage of the spiritual awakening, your highlight, what I want you to put is, you feel more connected to the natural world. You become a person that feels more connected to the natural world. This is also a stage of your spiritual transformation. You become a person that you feel more connected to the natural world. Your appreciation for the natural world is start to heighten, right? And I'm going to be even realer with you. Instead, this is why when we read the scripture, when it says we're in the world, but not of the world, you'll become a person that is so connected to more of nature thing than actual people. Boy, oh yeah. You going to the beach by yourself? You on that trail by yourself? You ever seen them people that's obsessed with the trails? Or how about the people that love the trees, to touch the trees? Yeah. The trails and the trees and the flowers and the plants and the water. It's like, wait a minute, watch this. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how during a certain time of the day, right? Isn't it amazing? You become amazed with these little simple things of life. Isn't it amazing during a certain time of the day when you're at the beach, the water only comes to a certain level, right? A certain level. And then have you ever went to your room at night, and while you at night, you got your balcony open and you got that ocean front, right? So you open up your balcony and you notice that during the day, the water only comes up to here, and you can play out there on the sand and the water ain't up there, all the way up there. But then at night, how the water starts to come up further than what it did before. It starts to come up. You're like, wow, look how far the water is coming up right now. Small little things like that you start to pick up on. You start to pay attention to. You're like, man, God is so good. Or you sitting on your balcony and you looking out and you can't see the end of the ocean, and you so impressed by that. Like, how in the world did you put this body of water right here like this? And it's just sitting there. Understand me, waves is waving and all of that, but it's not overpowering, not coming up this way, not doing this, and it's just sitting there. You start to pay attention to it. It says you feel more connected to the natural world. While you may feel less connected, listen to this, because I tried to give you this now. Hold on, okay? This is just what it is. The more that you become a person that is going through your spiritual transformation, we're talking spiritual transformation, operating with Christ conscious, going through a spiritual transformation. The stage that we're working on today is you become more connected to the natural world, right? And this is the scripture that I'm speaking about, is where it says, you listen, we are in this world, but not of this world. We start to lose interest with things and people that is of this world, right? And pay attention to what this is about to say. While you may feel less connected to your friends and family at first, you will feel more connected to nature, from plants to animals to the world as a whole. You will sense your interconnectedness to all, and it may be quite moving. In other words, says you're gonna start to feel not connected to your friends and family. Thank you so much. Who was that? Candace. I knew that was her. Thank you so much, Candace Bash. What happened? Say you become a person that is not as connected to those people like how you was before. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's not that you don't love them. It's not that you don't want to be there for them. It's not that you're not there for them. It's not that you don't want to see them live their very best life. You just learn how to operate independently. It's not that you don't love your family, your kids, your husband, your wife, your friends, and all. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is that you develop a level of independency. You know who you are, even if you're not connected to them. You develop a sense of self, right? You know who you are at your inner self. Like, as much as I love you guys and all of that, my connection now, I'm realizing, as much as I love you guys, as much as I want the best for you guys, I realize that the connection that I thought that I had with you, this is what happens when you're entering through a spiritual transformation, when you're undergoing a spiritual transformation through operating with that Christ conscious, right? You going through a spiritual transformation and you start to see that some connections that you had weren't connections at all. They were not healthy connections at all. It was codependency. That's a note. It's going to open up your eyes. It's going to open up your eyes. What you say when you start operating with Christ conscious and really studying this word, right? Dissecting this word, applying this word to your life, and you start going through your spiritual transformation, and you start to, to really crave that isolation, and then you're going through that aloneness and all these different stages, and you're learning that everybody have their own path, and you're removing that false sense of responsibility that you had to other people, and you learning how to respect everybody else's choices when they decide that they want to be a certain type of way, live a certain type of way, have a certain type of thing going on. You learn how to step back and step away. And throughout that process, you will learn that a lot of the connections that you thought you have are not healthy connections at all. You will realize that that was you being codependent. The reason why you guys were as tight as you thought that y'all were is because you were codependent on that individual, right? You were codependent on that individual. And I know I got some people in my chat right now and y'all rolling y'all head because I ain't codependent on nobody. I know this and I know that. No, you have that one person that every time something go wrong in your life, that's the person that you will run to. You found your comfort was inside of that individual. You have that one person in your life where I ain't talked to them all day. So when I haven't talked to them, it just seemed like my day is off. It seemed like my day is off and it feel like you're codependent on that person, right? Understand me. Well, if I don't have this and if I don't have that, you become codependent on those things, right? So what happens is in this situation, as you're undergoing your spiritual transformation, you're learning how to acknowledge God and his power. You're less connected to this world and you're more connected to nature. And nature is directly connected to God. Nature is what? Directly connected to God. You become less connected to this world, that's a note, and more connected to nature. And nature is directly connected to God. Why do you think grounding recharges you? When you put your feet on the ground and the sun is hitting, it recharges you. Says, come on. Hey, all right, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. This is why these things are so important. This is why these things are so important. But we as a people, right, we've gotten to the point where I ain't put my feet on the ground. I ain't put my feet on the ground because the dog's this and, you know what I mean, people so nasty and they be out there, they be spitting and they be doing this and doing that or whatever. This is why you have to find your own comfortable space inside your own yard. Your own sacred space in your own yard where you can go and you can plant your feet and you can stand there for 5 or 6 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Longer than that if you want to. And just sit out there and just simply enjoy nature. Problem solved. But that requires work. And a lot of times people don't want to do work. Everybody want what they feel like is going to come easy to them. If it's not easy to them, then they ain't able to do it. If it's going to require any level of work, anything that they're going to have to do, they don't want to do it. Everybody want everything that's going to come easy. If it's not easy, then they don't want it. It says you feel more comfortable. You feel more connected to nurture, to the natural world, while you may feel less connected to your friends and family at first. You will feel more connected to the nature, from the plants to the animals to the world as whole. You will sense your interconnectedness to all, and it may be quite moving, very moving, very, very, very moving, right? Very moving, very empowering, very it's just, you start to feel a lot in that, right? You start to feel a lot in that. And it says the role of nature in the spiritual awakening? What is the role of nature, coach, in the spiritual awakening? Why is this even a part? Well, number one, it's a part because nature is directly connected to God. First of all, it's a part, right? What is the role? Nature is directly connected to God. What is the one thing that scientists cannot control? I mean, besides us, they can't control us either. One thing besides us, they can't control nature. Nature is going to do whatever it's going to do. No matter how much they study nature and try to tell us, oh, it's going to be a 3, it's going to be a 2, that thing coming to be a 10. You ain't even prepared for it, right? You got a hurricane, you got a tornado, you got all these things are things that just happen. These are things that only are controlled by God. Yes, there are things that they go and they do and all of that, but I am a firm believer yet again that yes, they cannot control nature. They cannot control. They tell us all the time, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be sunny as all get out. We're going to be looking at a high of about 100 outside. So this, that, and the third, and next thing you know, you walk out the door and it's 75 degrees and it's pouring down raining. But on the news, what did they say? They said it was going to be, this is how we know that the only person that controls nature, controls what it's going to do, how it's going to do, that's going to be straight from God. This is why it's so important, right? So we become one with nature. We start to appreciate nature and we have a connection to that, right? So the role that it plays, it is directly connected to God. It says the natural world has a huge impact. Pay attention to this, right? The role of nature in the spiritual awakening. The natural world has a huge impact on spiritual awakening. It offers silence and a way to connect with God. In nature, people find a deep connection to God. What did I tell you what was directly connected? Isn't it strange how we've gotten away from all these ways? It's not strange at all, honestly. It's not strange at all. So when I say this, I'm going to say it like this right here. Isn't it strange how we were taught, just hear me out, that it's more important for us to come sit in the church than for us to sit outside in the grass? Jesus was not in the church. God is not in the church. But he's definitely outside. Nature is a direct connection with God. Remember back in the day when we had revival? We had revival outside. There was no AC outside. You was out there, and when you was out there pouring with sweat. Your feet was out there. You had and whenever you had the meal after service, you had that service where you had it at Lily, at them doors as well. You was out there hot as all get out, running around with your cousins and everybody, but we were outside. And the more that we grow and evolve in this world, everything has to be comfortable. You got to be cool. You got to have the AC on. You don't want to be outside. I don't want to be outside. And then we wonder why people are so disconnected from Christ, why they're so far away from Christ, because we run from his connection. We run from his connection. We complain about the sun. We complain about the wind. We can't stand when it rains. He's like, wait a minute. All of these things are from me. All of these things are connected to me. All of these things should be appreciated because all of these things are mine. Understand that, right? So if we're looking at it and it says the role of nature in the spiritual awakening, right? The natural world has a huge impact. The studies show that that nature don't have a small part. It says a huge impact. Huge. Because we don't like to camp, we like to glamp. You got some people, I don't want to do nothing outside. I don't even want to be bothered with them bugs. I don't want to do this. I want to, yeah. And then you try to figure out why you're so disconnected. It's like, no, you're supposed to be outside. That's exactly where I want you. I want you outside. huge impact on the spiritual awakening. It offers silence, S-O-L-A-N-C-E, silence, and a way to connect with God. Then it proceeds to say, in nature, people find a deeper connection. Right? All of this is how nature plays a part. It says guidance from nature helps with deeper reflection and finding peace. When I'm reading these, I want you to understand exactly why the enemy has us fighting to be not outside and in the air condition, kick back, feet crossed, watching TV, instead of sitting outside crisscross applesauce with a book. Why the enemy have gotten us so spoiled and so consumed with comfort that we would much rather be inside with the AC blowing, right, Lynn? Inside with the AC blowing, right? Super duper comfortable. Thank you, Kira, for the CA, sweetheart. Super duper comfortable, right? Every time, comfortable. Don't let that part skip you right there. The enemy wants you to be inside comfortable, because if you are inside and you're comfortable, comfort is what? Nothing but sabotage, self-sabotagement in disguise. Comfort is what? Self-sabotagement in disguise. So as long as you are inside, you are comfortable, right? You sitting in there and you watching TV, you scrolling your iPad, on your phone, all of these different things. This is what you're doing inside, right? Instead of being outside, feet on the ground, recharging. Instead of outside, building a deeper connection. Instead of outside reading that book. Instead of outside in prayer. Instead of outside just simply sitting in stillness, grounding yourself. Why? Because the enemy's job is to separate you from God. So anything that he can do to separate you from God is exactly what he's going to do every single time. So now, the way that my mind works, this is how my mind works. Y'all do me a favor. Double tap on my screen real quick. Double tap on the screen. Let's get some love going. I just want to explain to you something. I want, don't judge me now. Don't judge me, but I want to go here, right? All right? Because I want to bother this real bad. This thing has been bothered. Lily, watch this. Watch this right here. Watch this, Lily. So, as I was deep diving into, right? Because as I was reading this and I was putting my notes together, and I said, wait a minute, so you mean to tell me that all the scientists, all of, the people who are studying spiritual awakening, all of them have the same thought that nature plays a huge part of the spiritual awakening. Okay, coach, well, if that's the case, now you see what they say on their level of thinking, what they got from it. Now I got to sit back. I got to put my head back on my couch because I got to think about this thing. And guess what? What comes to my mind? Okay, if nature plays a deeper part of the spiritual awakening, right, then it explains to me, this is just how my mind works, then it explains to me exactly why Jesus was in that wilderness. Come on. Jesus was in the wilderness because the enemy's job is to separate you from God. The enemy's job is to separate you from God. His job is to break the connection that you have with God. Isn't it ironic how Jesus was led into the wilderness, right? He was led into the wilderness. He was led into the wilderness under the influence of the adversary so that he can be tempted, because we know that he wasn't led into the wilderness by the Holy Spirit. He wasn't led into the wilderness by God, because we just learned, right, already over in what we learned over in James 1:13 through 22, we learned what? That God does not tempt. He does not tempt, and he can't be tempted, and he does not tempt. We know that already. So we know for a fact now that one of the things that we were taught in church was the Holy Spirit led him out there. We know that that's a lie. We know that we have to dismantle that. We know that that was incorrect, that wasn't the right type of teaching. And now we understand that even Jesus Jesus, being that he was in the human form, that he also was tempted by the adversary the same way Judas was under the influence of the adversary, right? Now we understand that no matter how holy you are, you will be tempted by the adversary. No matter how righteous you are, no matter, yeah. You won't be exempt from that. That's something that's going to happen to each and every one of us. And it also happened to Jesus, right? So now the difference between Jesus and Judas was Judas bit the bait. Jesus did not. The point that I'm making is they both was influenced. Yeah. So no matter how or where you place yourself on your spiritual journey, you are not exempt. So ain't no need you walking around thinking that you are holier than thou, that you got it more together than the next man, and you this and you that, because when the enemy see you, he see you just like he see everybody else. And this while I say bring it down. Bring it down, my love. Baby, ain't no big eyes and little U's. I need for you to know that. Bring it on down. When the enemy see you, he see us the same. Baby, ain't nobody higher than the other person. Bring that on down a couple of pigs, baby. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I don't care how nice you dress it up, what type of designer that you throw on it. Baby, when the enemy see you, all he see is you the same way that he see anybody else, because he treated Jesus and Judas the same. Lord have mercy. Hey, and he did. I'm just saying, Tia, he did, right? Miss Driver, it's a fact. Am I lying, Lily? I mean, I'm just, if I'm wrong, then tell me that I'm wrong. The truth, she's like, talk. The fact of the matter is he treated Jesus and Judas the same exact way. He influenced them both. Understand me? The only difference was what? It was their DRC. It was their divine right of choice. That's the only thing that separated the two. Let's just be real about the situation. So as I'm thinking about the part that nature plays, now I understand. Come on, Heather Smith, I'm just being real. Now I understand why Jesus was actually led out into the wilderness. Understand me? The wilderness is the forest, it's the grass, it's the trees. You led him out here in this place where he's supposed to be the strongest at. Oh my God. What you say, Coach? Led him out there. Come on, Jasmine Moore. I want to be real. You led him out there to the place that he was supposed to be the strongest at, because nature plays a huge impact on our spiritual awakening. You led him out into the wilderness and you thought that you was going to win out there. This is how arrogant. This is how arrogant that the enemy really and truly is. This is how it was given to me. Y'all get it how you get it, but this is what was given to me. I said, wait a minute. You mean to tell me if nature plays a huge role in the spiritual awakening, why would the enemy influence him to go out into the wilderness? Did he not know that the strength that lies in nature? Did he not know that the empowerment that comes from nature, that he was going to get powered up when he went out there in nature? Why in the world would he take him out there? Why in the world would he lead him to a place where he was going to draw the most energy? Should he have not kept him right there where he was at? I think that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. So now I'm sitting on the couch and I got to let this thing really soak in my spirit, like how it need to soak in my spirit, so that I can teach it to you the way I needed to teach it to you, right? So then it hit me and said, nah, he had to take him to the strongest part, right? Because you have to think the way that the adversary think, right? You have to think how the adversary think. You have to be on top of these things. You have to be knowledgeable of who he are and his vices, right? He led him to where he felt like he was going to be the strongest, because he still felt like he had that type of power. Very arrogant, very cocky. Yeah, very skillful. Yeah, very arrogant, very cocky, very skillful, very deceiving. Isn't it amazing? Very cocky, very arrogant, very self-absorbed. See, the enemy still thinks, the adversary still running around here thinking that he has the power like that, especially when you're dealing with somebody in the flesh. And Jesus in that moment was in the flesh. So what the adversary was doing was trying to attack him with that flesh, because he had been fasting for 40 days, right? So he had been on this long fast. And so what he done was, when he led him out there in the wilderness, he thought he had the advantage. Key word in that was he thought he had the advantage. He thought that he had the advantage. But understand me, because of his physical state, because he had been fasting, so he thought that he had that type of power, right? So yeah, I'm gonna lead you out here away from any and everybody, and had no idea that he was leading Jesus into where he was going to be recharged. I said, no, you did not give me that like that. No, you did not give me that like that. Because wait a minute, what if nature plays a huge part? If nature plays a huge part in our connection, right? Our spiritual connection, then when Jesus was led into the wilderness, he was in direct contact with who? Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Who is it? Yes, think about it. Let it sit in your spirit, because I got excited with it too. Let it sit in your, because this little thing ain't big enough for me to run on it, right? This thing ain't big enough for me to run on it, right? So who was he in direct connection with? Nature is in direct connection with God, right? So you led him out into the wilderness where he was in direct connection with his Father. Understand me, a lot of time the enemy think that he had this power and he has this authority over you, and the only thing that the enemy is really doing is leading you into your next breakthrough, leading you into your next dimension, leading you into your next open door, leading you into your next opportunity, leading you into that next overflow, leading you into that next abundance. And he has no idea that what he's doing. Why? Because he's banking on the fact that you're going to throw in the towel. He's banking on the fact that you're going to break. He's banking on the fact that you're going to walk away. He's banking on the fact that you're going to give up. He's banking on the fact that you don't know what it is that you know. This is why. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He thought that because he had him weighed down physically, that he had the advantage. He thought because he had him weighed down physically that he had the advantage. Now it makes more sense to me. Yeah. He thought he had the advantage. But when we are knowledgeable of the enemy's tactics, friends, say, oh my God, think about it. When we are knowledgeable of the enemy's tactics, then we have the advantage. But think about what will happen if we're not only knowledgeable about the enemy's tactics, right? Because that's something that I've been teaching for two, maybe 3 years, being knowledgeable of the enemy's tactics and how it gives you the advantage. It gives the upper hand. Well, when I started studying this thing about nature, then God laid on my spirit, now that they are knowledgeable about his tactics, make sure that they are knowledgeable about mine. Make sure that they are knowledgeable about my power and my authority, how I'm here and I'm able. And it doesn't matter what in the world is going on in this world around them, that nothing is bigger than me. Hello, nothing is bigger than me. Nothing is more powerful than me. Nothing can outsmart me. Understand me, I'm all knowing. I'm all powerful. I'm Alpha, I'm Omega, I'm the beginning, I am the end. Understand me, there's nothing that they're going to go through that I can't protect them, that I can't deliver them from. I'm always right there. I need them to know that first and foremost. So even in their weakest state of their life, when they are out there, right, and their body is physically tired, physically drained, just like it was with Jesus inside of that wilderness, even when they feel like they're at that lowest point, then guess what? I'm still right there. I'm still right there with them. I'm still carrying them. I'm still protecting them. I'm still making a way for them. But in order for me to do what I need to do in their life, they have to choose me. They have to choose me. They have to choose to use me. It's red ink. You got to do what? They got to choose to use me. They got to choose to tap me in. They got to choose to surrender it to me. They got to choose me. And the moment that they choose me, I come in. I'm Rey Mysterio. Understand me. I'm standing on the side of the rope. I need for y'all. I'm talking about WWE SmackDown. I got this right here. I'm telling you, I'm Rey Mysterio. I'm on top of the rope. I'm ready to jump in at any given time. Let me know. I'm the Rock. I'm over here. Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? I am getting it all all the way together for them. All they got to do is tag me in. Understand me. It's not just enough for them to know the enemy's tactics so that they can have the advantage. They also need to acknowledge me and my vices, my things, the things that I'm able to do in their life on a regular basis, because that right there, understand me, that's going to keep them operating in that state of calmness. Because what you fretting for? You led he led Jesus into the place where he was going to be the strongest. He led him into nature, into the wilderness. This is where he led him. A lot of times you thinking that you being led down a dark road, you feel like your life is going nowhere fast, you on this downward spiral and you about to lose it all, and you got all this negative thoughts inside of your mind, and the whole entire time you are in your breakthrough, the whole entire time you are entering into that space where you about to receive your biggest blessing. Understand me, you would think, yeah, you didn't even know it. You didn't even know it. All you saw was the worst. All you saw was the worst, and that's exactly what the enemy wanted him to see when he was out there, that you are out here and you're by yourself, that you're out here in nature and it's just me and you out here. Understand me, it's just me and you out here. Ain't nobody out here but us, so you are by yourself in the whole entire time. He didn't realize that nature was the connection, direct connection. Oh my God. Said, hey, I have to give it like how I got it, right? And it says, guided in nature. It says, guidance from nature helps with a deep reflection and finding peace. You find your most peace out there. Get out there and lay down and simply relax. And you begin to feel what it was like to become free for a moment, to really enjoy life in that level. You're not thinking about much, it's finding peace. Places like the forest, the beach, the mountains are sanctuaries for self-discovery. What'd you say, Coach? Places like the forest, the wilderness, sanctuary for self-discovery. And Satan, you led him to his sanctuary. And you, bro, that's why he got whooped out there now. That's exactly why you took an L when you was out there. You led him to his sanctuary. Sanctuary, he says, forests, beaches, and mountains are sanctuaries for self-discovery, which then explain to us, right? These things now explain to us why whenever Jesus would go pray, he would go into the mountains. It's several different times when he would go and pray, he would either, you know what I'm saying, he would go away from them. They would go into the woods, he would go away into the wilderness, or they would go into the mountains. Even Moses, when Moses went to go pray, he went to pray what? He went up on the mountain. When Moses went to go pray for his people, Moses went up on the mountaintop to pray. When God spoke to Moses and he wrote on the tablets, he was at the top of the mountain. Understand me? Do y'all remember that? He was at the top of the mountain. And when he came down, because he had been gone so long that they thought that he had left them, right? But he was actually in the top of the mountain, up there praying for them, receiving a word for them. So we all know and understand that these places are sanctuaries for what? Self-discovery. You want to discover yourself. You want to know what's going on in your life. You want to recharge. You want to enter that peaceful state. Then you do what? They said the forests, beaches, and mountains are sanctuaries for self-discovery. Watch when I say this. A majority of people in 2025 run away from the forest, don't want the beach because it's too hot, and too scared to go up a mountain. Anytime you're talking about a mountain, going up a mountain, being in the mountain, they so scared. Ain't none of that, none of the stuff that they want to do. They would much rather do everything that is sitting inside the house, that's sitting on something luxurious, you know what I'm saying, something glammed up. They don't want to do anything that's going to require that forest, that beach or that mountain. Now you do have some people that want to go to the beaches, they want to go to the resorts and stuff like that. But when you're going, you're not going with the mindset of, I want to go out there with Christ. You're going out there for the pictures, you're going out there for the vlogs, you're going out there to showcase the fact that you done took a trip. I'm talking about beach and Bible study, right? When you see the beach, you're thinking about how I can go out there and pray on the beach, right? How I can go out there and I can just sit and meditate and allow the sun to hit me. Understand me? You ain't, well, I'm talking about that type of time. You're not, they're not thinking about that, right? Because that's not what's on their mind, because that's not luxurious, that's not glamorous. But then, if we utilize these things for what they were created for, it says the forests, the beaches, and the mountains are sanctuaries for self-discovery. No wonder the enemy have made those things so uncomfortable and such a thing that we don't want to do. Because his job is to keep us separated from Christ. His job is to keep us out of that sanctuary. His job is to keep us from operating the way that we need to operate. That's his job. So anything that he can do to separate us from Christ is exactly what he's going to do. So why would the enemy want you to be out there praying on the beach, right? Why would the enemy want you up in those mountains, right? In prayer, fasting, meditating, worshiping. Why would the enemy want you taking strolls through the forest, right? In prayer, finding a place to ground yourself, knowing that that is a sanctuary. Because if people get back to those things, doing those things, can you imagine the amount of people that he's going to lose? Can you imagine amount of people that are going to get back on the right path? No, he has to make sure that those things are not used for what they were designed for. Double tap on my screen. Can I get 5 badges on IG? I don't know why. I think she's saying that it's something wrong with it. Let me see if it's going to kick in over there. Yeah, let me get 5 badges on IG. Double tap on my screen. Let us get it up over here on TikTok. Go ahead and get us up to 200K, right? So now we understand exactly why, right? We understand exactly why the enemy don't want us to do that. And I just want to say this real quick. If you on my chat right now and you were at the retreat in March, if you on my chat right now and you were at my retreat, the retreat that I had in March, that I had in Tennessee, in the mountains in Tennessee, if you were on my chat and you were at the retreat that I had in March, double tap on my screen. Let me get some love. Thank you so much, Candace Bash, Gigi McGrose. Thank you so much, y'all. Double tap on the screen. I want to know who was at the chat. Just put the hand up and just put the hand. If you was at the retreat that we had in March, I just want you to put the hand inside the chat. Put the hand inside the chat. Okay, I see Tifa said yep, but put the hand in the chat. Okay, there go your hands. If you was at the retreat, Nikki with the word. Okay, I got retreat. Crystal Love was there. Put it inside the chat. Do I have anybody that was on Facebook that was at the retreat that we had in March? Anybody on Instagram that was at the retreat? Okay, I got a lot of people. Okay, Danielle, I see you, Danielle. I see you, friend Chetty. I see you, Chef Shirley. All right, I need some love over here on IG. Gigi McGross, I see you. All right, listen. Then now we understand why the spirit fell the way that it fell when we were in the mountains. Because we went out there on a Know Your Identity retreat. And we went out there before I knew or even studied this part. Before I even studied this part, I just started studying this to teach. We went into the mountains and we spent a weekend. Our weekend in the mountain was the Know Your Identity Retreat 2025. We did yoga. We had prayer. Thank you, Purple Flowers. Did yoga. We had prayer. We had devotion. We had master classes being taught. Everything that we were doing was us learning our identity, working on ourselves, letting go of things that was no longer servicing us, was the teachings while we were out there. We was embracing God and everything that he had for us. So when I went and I read this, it says, guidance from nature helps with deep reflection and finding peace. Everybody in the circle, when we went around, spoke about the level of peace and calmness and family and safe that they felt while we were in those mountains. It says places like the forest, the beach, and the mountains are sanctuaries for what? Self-discovery. And we were there at the Know Your Identity retreat. And it says, are sanctuaries for self-discovery. Know Your Identity retreat. We were in the sanctuary and didn't even know it. All we know was that the spirit was high. All that we know is that people were speaking in tongues. People had tears and passed out on the floor with tears rolling and just could not get right. Just could not get right for nothing because the spirit was so heavy that we had to stop doing everything that we was doing just to allow God to move how he was moving. And we had no idea until this morning that we was in the sanctuary. A place of self-discovery. Everybody that was there, we talking and we chatting. Now we understand about this peace. There you go, Be Kind. Now we understand the peace that we was feeling. We was out there in the woods, in the mountains, with a black bear running around our cabin. And they was more intrigued, interested in the bear, taking pictures of the bear, than they was with getting away from the bear. Drawn to the nature. Drawn to the fact that the bear was that close. I'm constantly saying, get in the cabin. Move. Get away from there. Come back up here. Understand me? Because I wanted them to be safe. And then we start studying nature. Isn't it a beautiful, beautiful thing? One thing that I always tell them is that God is always going to give you what you need before you need it. God is always going to give you what you need before you need it. These things are things that we were already doing and did not know that we were doing them and did not know the part that they were going to play on our spiritual awakening, but we were already on that path, already working in that area. And I just wanted to share that with y'all, how beautiful that actually was. I was like, oh my God, wait till I tell them that. So yeah, that was so, man, that was so hit for me. I was like, wow, that right there, that hit it. That. We was in a sanctuary. We can actually say that, we was in a sanctuary. We experienced that self-discovery moment. We experienced that moment of peace. We experienced exactly what these teachers have put. We experienced that. We can vouch for that. We can provide confirmation for that. That was an experience that we experienced, so we know that to be what? True. That was an experience that we experienced, so we know that to be true. Because we experienced it. So that's confirmation enough to know that nature plays a huge role in our spiritual awakening. Is that right, Lynn? So that's how we know. Because we experienced that. So that's a truth. It says how nature influences spiritual growth. How nature influences spiritual growth. Being in nature lowers stress and promotes relaxation. How does nature influence spiritual growth? Being in nature does one, lower stress and promotes relaxation. Come on, Lynn. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yeah, double tap on that screen. It's a fact. How does nature influences spiritual growth? It lowers the stress and it increases the relaxation. This setting helps raise our energy through positive feelings. Now we are learning this morning exactly why the enemy don't want us out in nature, don't want us grounding, don't want us taking strolls through the forest, don't want us laid out in the mountains praying. Understand me? Don't want us on the beach having beach and Bible study. Now we understand exactly why the enemy don't want us operating in that type of thinking and that type of capacity. Why? Because he already know that those things are the sanctuaries, right? Those things are the sanctuaries. And if we start back doing those things like we used to do back in the day, if we get back to those ways, then he already know we're going to start to discover ourselves. We're going to relax more. No more stress, no more anxiety, no more panic attacks. Understand me? We're going to start operating with that level of peace in our life all over again. And that's the last thing that he wants. Oh, so we learned a huge part, right? So it says, lowers the stress, and promotes relaxation. This setting helps raise our energy through positive feelings. Spending time outside boosts mindfulness and our connection to life. What are the pros, coach, of being out there? It boosts your mindfulness and our connection to life. It boosts our mindfulness and our connection to life. Boosts our mindfulness and our connection to life. Put it in your notes. Double tap on that screen. Double tap on the screen. Sacred places. This is a note for y'all. This is a note as well. Double tap on the screen. I'm ready to go to the next note. If you guys are ready. What Cook says regulates, and it regulates blood pressure. Okay, I can believe that, because if it's relaxing you, it's definitely going to calm that flow down. So I can definitely see regulating blood pressure as one. For sure. It boosts our mindfulness and connection to life. That's a fact. That's a fact. Come on, let's go. Put it inside your notes. Put it in your notes. I definitely can see that. Thank you so much, Lynn. I see the love coming. So now, if all of these positive things are coming from us being in nature, the real question is, why do we run from nature? Why do we run from being outside? Why do we run from being in the forest, taking walks, going hiking? Why do we run from having prayer time up in the mountains? Why do we run from these things? We run from these things because we've been deceived. We run from these things because we've been deceived. The enemy's job is to separate us from what connects us to Christ. So if these things are a connection, a direct connection to God, then guess what he's going to do? He has to make that look less interesting. Less interesting. Like, nah, that's going to be so uncomfortable. I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to go over there. I don't want to. Yeah, he has to make that something that you don't want to do, because he knows the pros of you actually going out there doing it. He knows the pros of you actually going out there and doing it. Yeah, I ain't big on snakes and bugs neither. But I could tell you something else that's really crazy that I learned when in studying different stuff, right? I'm not sure if you guys know this already, but I'll share it with y'all anyway. Yeah, we don't like the bugs, and but they do have bug spray, so you can actually put down bug spray. But when it comes down to snakes and snake bites, I thought that this was really interesting information when I learned that the venom for the most poisonous snakes, right? For snakes, all snakes, even your most poisonous snakes, the venom for it is sheep blood. The blood of a sheep is what they drain the blood. And they put it in vials. And it instantly overpowers any venom. There's no snake alive that sheep blood don't dismantle. That's a fact. I know it was the blood that saved me. Yeah. Oh, yes. It's about, yes. It's the blood of the lamb, baby. It's the blood, it's the blood of the lamb, the blood of the lamb. Understand me, isn't that something? Y'all know who represents the lamb. Y'all know who represents the sheep. Y'all know this already. So yes, go Google it, sweets. Go Google it. Go over there and go Google it. What scientists and what doctors use, what they use when it comes down. So yeah, you over there talking about, oh, I ain't going out there, they got snakes, we got lamb. They got snakes, I got a lamb. I got a lamb, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got a lamb. I don't like them neither, but I got a lamb. Do you feel me? Yes, the most venomous snakes, some of your most venomous snakes, those snakes, and if you understand, like the scientists and the doctors, what they do is they get the sheep's blood, right? And they create the venom. They create the anti-venom for it. So what saves you is they inject that blood. When they put, it destroys it. It destroys it. It don't even stand a chance against it. That's right. What destroys the venom of a snake? The lamb's blood. Yes. The lamb's blood. Friends say, wow, that's deep. I'm just saying, somebody put it in my chat, so I was just saying, we ain't no need for us really to be afraid of nature. There's no real need for us to be afraid of nature, because we go back to, there's nothing that we're going to face, no trial, no tribulation, no obstacle that we're going to face that's more bigger than our God, that our God is not going to be able to protect us from. He's already created a way. See that? Look at that. He's already created a way right there, right? Sacred places in nature creates a deeper connection to God. The reason why you need a sacred place, your own place in nature that you can go, whether that's in the forest, whether that's in your backyard, where you had already carved out that place where you go out there and you just sit and you just read, or you just worship, or you just praise. It's because you're building that your own personal connection with God. And I'm going to say this, and when I say this, I got to go. I got a session at 10 o'clock. I want you guys to stop looking at every single thing that we do or that people talk about that's not in your normal routine of what you do as if it's voodoo or Hindu, or something that is demonic. Everything that people do on a spiritual level is not demonic, right? And we've been taught that you have to do things this way all the time, that some of the things that we've been doing and our ancestors been doing and have been doing all of their life, we are now learning that those are the things that we need to get back to, and we need to get back to them expeditiously, really and truly. Like, just demonize everything. They make everything about the devil. Like, just, you can't pray outside. You can't put your feet on the ground. You can't meditate. You can't manifestation. Like, come on, bro. Like, what is it that we're supposed to be doing? Then you tell us don't meditate, and then they go in the Bible talking about meditate on the word day and night. That's a contradiction. How you tell us that it's not right, but then we go find out that that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing? How you tell, you know what I'm saying? You want us to come sit up in here. We got to sit up here in these four walls, do everything in these four walls, and then we get to studying and dissecting things, and we find out that the wood, the forest, the mountain, the trees, this is a sanctuary for self-discovery. So why we not outside like we need to be? Now, why are we not in nature like we need to be? If we're trying to build a deeper connection with God, if the deeper connection with God is in nature, then why are we not in nature? It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. As we're continuing to grow in your spiritual journey, that you have to learn how to think outside the box. You have to be willing to learn some new stuff. I'm telling you, you have to be willing to learn some new stuff, some unlearn some things that you were taught, and you have to develop your own mindset to say that I'm going to do what is best for me. I'm fine. Y'all can do it however y'all want to do it, but when it comes down to me and what I need to do for me, I'm going to take the route that I need to take for me. Understand me. I'm going to take the necessary route that I need to take for me. And we need to move that way, right? Because every single time that you put yourself in that box, I want you to know this, every single time that you put yourself in that box and you only do what everybody else wants you to do, how everybody else wants you to do it, then I want you to understand that you're not doing this for God. You're doing it for people. When you change the person that you are, whether that's the way that you dress, whether, all of these things, and you're doing it to suit other people, then you're not suiting God with that. You're doing it because you want to be accepted by the other people. You want to be loved by the other people. You want to be embraced by the other people. Understand me, that's what you're doing it for. Oh, I changed the way I did this and I changed the way that I did that. Why did you change it though? You changed it because you wanted to be accepted by that particular group of people, because there's nothing in that scripture that said that that's what you had to do. That's what they wanted you to do. But what I read is you can't serve two masters. You're either going to serve them or you're going to serve him. And it's just one of those things that we as a people have to understand how important it is for us to be able to think, to read, and to study, and to ask God for clarity and revelation in our own life. In our own life. This is important, right? I got to get out of here. I actually got a 10 o'clock appointment this morning. But yeah, this is what we've been talking about today, having been the spiritual awakening, the stage on nature, right? And the part that nature actually plays in our spiritual awakening. It has a bigger role than what a lot of us thought that it had, but it also brings awareness to those of you who are going through your spiritual awakening right now, and you're starting all of a sudden to have this craving to go outside and to go to the beach and to lay out, you know what I'm saying, to take hikes and do different things like that. And you're like, man, I've been thinking that, but I didn't know why I all of a sudden got into that. Gigi talking about I just not got back. How much of the word you miss? Talking about I just seen you say you just got back. Listen, I love my people, man, but I stay on them, right? But the thing about it is you're having that craving of, oh, okay, well, now I want to be outside. Now I want to do this. Now I want to do that. Now you understand why you want to do this. So I hope that this message encourages you to get outside, encourages you to go ahead to the beach. Take your book to the beach, sis. Go ahead and book that cabin trip. Understand me, bro? Go ahead, you and the bros, y'all get out there, grab y'all fishing rods. You know what I'm saying? Get into that canoe. Get out there and go fishing. Get into prayer. Have that good conversation about life and development. You know what I'm saying? That craving that you have to just be one and in one while you're out there. This is where it's at, right? So I'm hoping that this word that we received this morning, that it gave you that extra boost, that extra confirmation to say, that's exactly what I need to be doing. I'm about to get back outside. I don't care if it's going to be before the sun get at its hottest level. I'm going to do what? I don't care what it, even if I got to get out there by myself, I'm going to have my time over there outside. I'm going to have my time out there in the woods. I'm going to have my time over there, you know what I'm saying, just relaxing, just me and God. This is the time to go ahead and do it. Right? Go ahead and do it. But I know for some of y'all that's walking away from this and you was out there at that March retreat, I know you walking away saying, man, it makes so much more sense now, right? It makes so much more sense now. And I do encourage you guys, yes, when we're talking about the forest and being out there in the forest, isn't it amazing how the enemy led Jesus to the place where he was going to draw the most energy? How you lead him to the forest. How you lead him out there to the wilderness. He led him right there to the place where he was going to draw the most energy and become the strongest. So with just us knowing that alone, take that information and know that you may feel like you in the toughest part of your life right now, that you in the thick of things right now in your life. Jesus had been fasting. His physical body was tired. He was hungry, and then led out to the wilderness. Some of us are tired, mentally drained, frustrated, feeling like our life is on a downward spiral, going absolutely nowhere fast. But I want you to know that our God is powerful, that he's a way maker, he's a promise keeper. And there's nothing that we're dealing with, nothing that we're going through, that he will not carry us all the way through it. Get out there. Put your feet on the ground. Get out there at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Walk that yard with no shoes on. Recharge. Get connected. Surrender. God, whatever it is that you're doing in my life, have your way. But give me the strength, give me the encouragement to deal with every obstacle, every trial, every tribulation. Give me the clarity and the understanding to see and understand how my life is flowing. Relax my mind, relax my spirit. Put me in a state of calmness so that I don't mess up what you're doing in my life. So that I don't mess up. The only person that can stop what God is going to do in your life is you. The only person that can interrupt what God is going to do in your life is you. The only person that can prevent you from going to that next level in your life is you. Get connected. Now that we know that nature plays a huge role in our spiritual awakening, it's time to get connected to it, right? It's time to get out of the house, out of the luxury, sky-rise apartments, the nice condos, the mansions even. Let's go touch some ground. Let's get into some sanctuaries, forests, mountain. Let's start discovering self again. Let's get to know who you are. Really get to know who you are. And not what this world have told you that you are. A lot of us right now, we're doing what? We're peeling off what everybody else have told us. Because we're just now learning. We've been learning this in class. We're just now learning in chapter 3 that we don't even know who we are. We just been accepting what everybody have been telling us since we've been kids. And now at our big old ages of 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 years old, we're getting information and we're saying, wait a minute, that's me. Wait a minute, that's me. Wait a minute, that's me. And we're just now learning that my favorite color ain't blue. My favorite hobby ain't basketball. I really don't like that. It was all learned behavior. And it was all things that was pushed on us by other people. Now we're actually growing and evolving and becoming who we want to be. And we loving the journey. Embrace your journey. Live your journey. Love your journey. All the way, all right? Every single day that you wake up and you put 10 toes to the ground, I want you to sweat yourself. Tell yourself how beautiful you are and how much you love you, because it's no love like self-love. And you first have got to love yourself way before you're able to love anybody else. Of course, it's your favorite online motivational speaker, life coach, and evangelist. It's your girl, street poet. I absolutely love each and every one of you guys, and I want you guys to have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Take this word with you. Allow it to take root and start making some changes as of today. Just thank you for an amazing word, coach. You're more than welcome, girl. Hey, I could have talked all day about Jesus in that wilderness, baby, because I'm telling you, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, wait a minute. Sometimes we think we being led astray, and we actually being led right there to our breakthrough. That's amazing. That's amazing. Sometimes, can you imagine how somebody feel right now on these chats? It's like, yo, I thought that I was being led astray, and you mean to tell me, stay the course, baby. Stay the course. Stay the course, baby. You think I thought I was losing it all? You mean to tell me, hey, that thing is on the other side of it? Keep going. Keep going. It's on the other side of it. Keep going. Stay focused. Yeah. This ain't it for you. I love you guys. I'll see y'all soon.